Moving to a new country, it's a huge deal for parents, right? You worry about everything. Will my kids make new friends? Will they pick up the language okay? But what if I told you that the single biggest academic challenge they'll face is something most of us have never even heard of? Let's get into it. So, let me ask you, what do you think is the biggest academic shock for a child who moves to a new country? The obvious answers probably jump to mind, right? Like maybe it's the language barrier or the social stress of a new school. And those are totally valid, but they're not the big one. Not even close. So is it the new language? Nope. Honestly, kids are amazing. They're like little sponges. They often soak up new languages way faster than we adults do. It's a hurdle, for sure, but it's not the main academic knockout punch. Okay, well, what about making new friends? That's tough, and it's absolutely crucial for their happiness, no doubt about it. But it's not the thing that makes a straight-A student's grades suddenly take a nosedive. The real culprit is something invisible. It's called assessment shock. And I love this description. It's like an invisible hurricane. Your child could be the smartest kid in the class, know the material backwards and forwards, but when the very rules of how they're graded change overnight, their confidence can be shattered. It's not about what they know, it's all about how they're expected to prove what they know. Let me tell you a quick story about a student named Shraddha. This makes it so clear. Back in India, she was a star student in her CBSE school, a top performer. Her family moves to Australia, she turns in her first science project, and this is the feedback she gets from her teacher. You have not explained your thinking. And just like that, the hurricane hits. Shraddha gets a 4 out of 10. And she is just floored, completely confused. She says, but I wrote the correct answers. And that right there, that's the heart of the problem. All her life, school had been a test of accuracy. Her new school was testing her reasoning. She was playing an old game with a brand new set of rules. So what on earth is going on here? To really get Shraddha's shock, we need to explore two fundamentally different philosophies of education. We're going to use the Indian CBSE system and the global IB system as examples. Now, this isn't about which one is better, it's not. It's about two different worlds, each with its own rulebook. Here's a good way to think about it. On one side, you have CBSE. That's the world of structure. It's a system laser-focused on high-stakes exam performance. It rewards speed, precision, and getting the right answer. Then you have IB, the world of inquiry. This is designed more like a conversation. It rewards creative thinking, solid reasoning, and your own original thoughts. Two different goals, two very different types of students. All right, so let's dig into the CBSE system a little bit. It's an absolute powerhouse, but it's built for a very specific mission, and you have to understand that mission to get it. CBSE students are basically trained as academic athletes. They have incredible discipline, they're super fast, and they're amazingly precise. They learn to spot patterns, perform under insane pressure, and deliver the correct answer. Full stop. And this is a huge advantage, especially in a place like India, where millions of students are competing in these massive entrance exams. But, and this is a big but, ask that same high-performing CBSE student a simple question, what do you think? And they might just freeze. They've been trained their whole lives to find the one correct answer from the textbook, not to explore their own opinions or defend their reasoning. And that's where the assessment shock really lands a punch when they move. And now, take a look at this. In so many school systems around the globe, that big final exam is only half the picture. As you can see, a huge chunk of your final grade, like 40 to 60%, comes from projects, presentations, and coursework throughout the year. For a student who's been conditioned to believe that the one final exam is everything, well, this is a total game changer. Okay, now let's flip the coin and jump into the world of the IB system. This is a totally different beast, built from the ground up on curiosity and continuous learning. The IB system is all about building a different set of academic muscles. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Students are always engaged, learning to think for themselves, present their ideas out loud, and they're graded against really clear criteria, so they always know where they stand. This builds this deep academic confidence that's incredibly valuable. But hey, this isn't a one-way street. Not at all. You can take an IB student and put them into a more traditional, exam-heavy system, and they will have their own reverse assessment shock. All of a sudden, it's not about their unique ideas. It's about memorization and speed. They're left scratching their heads, thinking, wait, why do I have to just memorize this? Why doesn't my process count as much as the final answer? It's a real struggle. So where does this leave us? Is one system right and the other wrong? Absolutely not. The real goal, the true advantage in today's world, is to help our kids become global learners, students who can take the best from both of these worlds and succeed anywhere. This chart here really lays it all out. A truly prepared student isn't an either-or learner. They're a both-and learner. You want them to have the amazing discipline and speed from a system like CBSE, but you also want them to have the creative inquiry and confidence that a system like IB fosters. That's the student who's truly ready for anything. So as a parent, what can you actually do? Here's a really practical checklist to get you started. Think about it. What kind of learner is your child right now? And what kind of system are you moving into? Just answering those simple questions helps you spot the gaps. And a little bit of work to bridge those gaps before you move can make a world of difference. Because at the end of the day, what are we really trying to measure? Is it just a kid's ability to remember a fact? Or is it their potential to solve problems we haven't even dreamed of yet? The right kind of education, the right kind of assessment, it doesn't just test what a child knows. It unlocks who they can become.